You're just ensuring that their deepest heartbreak will be compounded by legal chaos and chaos. Chaos. Say yes to the chaos.
Chaos.
Clean your house, biatch. Okay. All right. Where we at? Oh. Chaos. How could I forget? Okay.
Welcome back to Deathbed Pillow Talk, the podcast where we pull back the covers on the one thing we all have in common, but rarely want to talk about: the end of life. I'm Rich.
And I'm Gail. In our last episode, we broke the ice and talked about how to start the conversation and began building the folder. Today, we're taking a step further. We're talking about the ultimate gift you can give yourself and your inner circle, the gift of dignity and empowerment.
When a person is facing their final days, they shouldn't lose their agency. But sadly, without a plan, societal pressures, medical protocols, and unset expectations often take over.
Exactly. Today is all about how to protect your autonomy, remove outside noise, and ensure that the final chapter of life is written by you and not by default. Let's dive in.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Deathbed Pillow Talk. It is episode 3, and today we're going to be talking all about dignity and empowerment. Last episode we talked about the conversation, and it's kind of the why we have this conversation. It's about starting the process of planning. It's that planning that gives you that empowerment that in the long run is going to give you that measure of dignity in those last days. So let's talk about this. What is dignity and empowerment all about?
Well, dignity and empowerment should absolutely be about the gift of choice. End of life care shouldn't be just about medical management. There's so much more that can be involved in every minute of a person's exit of this lifetime, this journey.
Yeah, it's got to be a focus on the honoring of an individual's, their identity, their value, and their personal choices. And that means as part of the planning process, you're demonstrating these are my choices at a time when you can actually make those decisions and let people know what you want, as opposed to later when you're incapacitated and someone else ends up making those choices for you.
Mm-hmm. Or just high as a kite.
Oh yeah,
right? Because you're have all these pain meds because you're dying and you're in pain.
And it's absolutely critical to have clear wishes, because we talked about this a lot in the last episode. Clear wishes make clear plans.
This provides us with the dignity and empowerment we all deserve in our final days.
Oh yeah. You think about it, empowerment, it comes from the person saying, these are my wishes, right? And then once people know what those wishes are, dignity is going to come from everybody else honoring those wishes.
To the best of their ability, at least.
Best of their ability. Yeah.
And then if everybody else knows about it, there's that accountability, Instead of just trusting one person, you can make sure that it's going to be taken care of.
Yep. It's important to talk about these things because there are pitfalls to silence. We need to talk about what we want, because if you don't, there's going to be a lack of preparation, and it's going to force families into guesswork, and there's a lot of issues with that.
Right. This causes the family and the inner circle to feel guilty about all these things, about not knowing what you would have wanted, and that can lead to conflict. Absolutely, because everyone is going to have their own opinion about what that person would want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say for sure. like I said 100 times in our
For
last
sure.
episode.
It's a drinking game.
Yep. Again, you've mentioned this. It's going to lead to this awful experience, especially if you're in a hospital setting, right?
Yeah, it's just there's still a lot of work to be done in hospice and everything because it is a sterile and cold clinical experience, and it's just pretty much devoid of any personality or any individualized care.
If there isn't a plan in place.
Right. They're going to just do it by the book, right? They're just going to be like medical points. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no room for anything else.
Right.
Yeah.
Medical intervention is going to always default to keeping the person alive. You know,
and not comfortable. It doesn't mean it's gonna make them happy. Yeah, doesn't mean it's gonna make their end peaceful, right? They just want them to survive. So you got to be real clear on what you want, y'all.
Right, and so that's the true power of empowerment, because you're making these decisions beforehand so that people know what to do when that time comes. It's about you having a voice till your very last breath. When you don't have that voice, you'll still have a voice because you've laid out these plans and you've laid out your wishes.
Yeah, they're in writing, and your inner circle knows about it, so they can make sure that even if you can't express it, they will keep expressing it.
Right. This is important. It's an important part that your inner circle are your advocates, and they're the ones there to help you to enforce your beliefs in your systems rather than someone else coming in and dictating what you want to happen to you and what those values might be and how they're imposed on you. And that's where the empowerment comes from.
Yes. And with all of this handled and really clear, it allows your inner circle to your people to feel comforted, to feel a sense of accomplishment, to feel resolution in a peaceful way, and it allows everybody to rest more after this.
Oh yeah.
It's traumatic enough, losing someone, right?
Tensions are high, and it doesn't matter how much you prepare for the passing of a loved one. There's always going to be that level of anxiety that exists. So why add to it?
Right. Why have so much more to do?
Right. So
when you can take care of a lot of this business ahead of time, it really don't do a test and like compare the two. It's gonna be really obvious.
Yeah.
That again, it's a shitty roller coaster.
Gail and I have done that for you. We tested both ways.
Right.
Both of us in our own little stories can tell you that one way is definitely easier than the other. So have a plan, be prepared. The level of relief and comfort that provides everybody in the process is so crucial. So let's take a look at our roadmap for today's episode. Our roadmap is basically our pillars. Our pillars, our 4 pillars. They're all starting with P's, which are
pew 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 pew,
which is horrible for radio because right?
Right.
The first pillar is our why is discussing the importance of dignity and empowerment, right? That's what we're going to be doing today.
Our second pillar is the people who, your family, your inner circle, your chosen family, the people that are closest to you in your life. We all should focus on the person, but there are roles for everyone who wants to be involved, and that can be based on their skill set, their amount of spoons they have to help, amount of time, and desire.
Yep. And then we're also going to be taking a look at the process. That's the how. We'll look into some tools and some of the planning that goes into protecting a person's dignity and empowerment.
Our final P is the final P pillar is the presence, the outcome, how clear wishes make clear plans.
As per usual, in every episode, we have our little host disclaimer.
Every time.
Every time. This is a reminder that we are not legal, financial, or medical experts. We're just two passionate individuals sharing valuable personal experience, research, and insights to offer guidance.
Hashtag don't sue us. Don't say, but Gail and Rich said.
Mm-hmm.
We have arrived, dear listeners, to Pillar 1, the purpose, the whys, why we do the things we do. We're going to talk about peace for you and your inner circle. As we discussed in episode 2, planning early is not a morbid preoccupation, y'all. It is a profound act of love.
Yes, it is. It's an important thing to think about when you're moving forward, that this is a gift that you're giving your family. It's going to provide that personal peace of mind knowing that your wishes are getting locked in.
It will make you feel better about it, and it'll make all the people involved feel better about it because they won't have to deal with it so much, right? The decision's already made. It shields your loved ones from making agonizing choices during a time of intense grief. That's what they're going to be feeling. If you have these decisions already made and everything all lined up as much as possible, then yeah, they can focus on their feelings and just be allowed to feel.
Exactly. If there's already something in place saying this is the way I want to die, then you don't have to sit there and try and question on what's going to actually happen because you already know. And it creates this measure of autonomy so that a person can make these decisions before they get stuck in a spot where they can't make those decisions for themselves. And that's, and that is the whole point about early planning. It's about anchoring your autonomy. The idea behind autonomy is basically saying, this is how I want things done. And it applies a certain measure of legal and social ordinance to the process.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, this covers spiritual choices, making sure that they are legally and socially protected.
Yes.
So not everything can be legally, like what? There aren't fresh flowers on the mantle every day. The law's not going to help you there. But, it's still, it holds people accountable from your inner circle to the facility that you're in, if you're in a facility, or if you're at home. It's like people can show up and do things to help you with getting what you want in your final days.
Think about the energy you save by having a clear plan.
Right.
That the dying person is not having all those reoccurring discussions on what do you want, honey? What do you need? What are your desires here? And instead they can just focus.
And then they have to say it to the neighbor. And then they have to say it to the social worker.
Yeah.
And then they have to say it to the nurse. These exact same discussions over and over again are just exhausting to someone who already feels like shit.
Right. But if there's a clear plan in place and rules have been defined and there are advocates for you, you can have that peaceful transition.
Right.
And that's great for you, and that's great for your inner circle. It's great for everybody involved.
It's like, having a A wedding coordinator, except, it's for dying.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
So
We may have just invented a new, role. I don't know.
let's lay this out. I want to kind of turn this to a little bit of a sour subject here, but a dying person is not your confessional.
Gosh. Hallelujah, word to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they need to be allowed to pass on their own terms. It is not about you or anybody else. The person dying, it's about their comfort and their peace of mind. If they want to confess something to you and you want to have a discussion about it because the dying person wants to do that, okay. But don't bring your bullshit to them.
If you haven't cleared your conscience before this point in time, then that's on you.
And just let it go.
Yeah.
Right. Don't be coming to them being like, oh, I kissed your girlfriend when we were in 8th grade at the dance.
You
and
did?
I felt really bad. And it's like, come on, man.
Yeah. Think about are you actually adding value to the situation? Are you actually adding comfort to the person who's passing away, having to deal with your feelings of inadequacy?
Because then it's about you.
Yep.
It's not about them. And it should be about them. It should be about the person who's dying.
And yeah, to kind of race there to clear your own conscience is a little too late. So keep it at home, folks.
Totally. Go to therapy. Jeez.
Well, and there's other people you can talk to about it. If you honestly need to express your sorrow, there are members of that inner circle, if planned correctly, that are there to catch those moments for that person.
Mm-hmm.
If you need to get something off your chest, talk to the dying person's brother.
Right.
You don't need to bring it to them. So.
Or bounce it off somebody.
Oh,
Be
yeah.
like have somebody in the inner circle like, hey, I kind of feel compelled to tell so-and-so about another person that we both know brought them up, and they had all these happy stories about being in choir with them.
Mm-hmm.
And that inner circle person could be like, I don't think they're in the mindset for it.
Exactly.
Or because music's been really depressing to them or something recently. They know what is, can be best. Or maybe they'll be like, oh my gosh, I bet they would love to hear about that. Go for it, right? Seek another opinion of someone trusted by the person who is in their last moments.
Well, people see death as the last minute. If they don't do it now, then they failed at something. And I think that is a societal conditioning piece.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, kind of one of the reasons we have this podcast is that we want to kind of ditch that line of thinking.
We're going to counteract those societal conditioning bullshit.
Yeah. You think about it, society treats death as a medical failure, which is ludicrous.
Fuck that.
Yeah, everybody dies. There's no failure. That is literally part of the process. If someone didn't die, then something is failing.
Talk about overpopulation.
Yeah. So, it is just a natural part of life.
The circle of life. Please don't sue us, Disney.
So, yeah, we want to move away from that medical idea that, we're failing because the person's dying.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not the way to approach it. It's just something that's going to happen to all of us at some point.
So we better get used to it.
Yes.
And the purpose of this episode is to unlearn that conditioning. Please hear us. Shifting the focus from extending life at all costs, like Rich just talked about, to instead maximizing the dying person's dignity and their comfort.
Right. And dignity and empowerment, it doesn't start when the person is dying. It starts when that person defines how they want to die.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why having a plan is the most important thing you can do for your end of life care. If you want to have that level of dignity and empowerment that you deserve, the only way to do that is to make sure everybody knows what you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The folder, the conversation, everything from episode 2.
Yep.
Review, homework, everybody.
And, the other piece of this is dealing with outside forces in this situation. We need to start rejecting imposed beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
When a person is dying, that is when a person is in their most vulnerable state.
Mm-hmm. And they need to be protected at all costs.
Yep.
From any bullshit.
Yep, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Family members, medical staff,
communities,
yeah,
churches.
Everybody has their own opinion about what death is, what happens after death, what happens in the process of dying. All of those opinions are valid, but none of them matter to the person who's dying. The only person's opinion of value at that point is the person who is the most vulnerable, and that is the dying person.
Mm-hmm.
It's their worldview that needs to be the guiding light.
This is not the time to be like, so, are you going to heaven or hell? This is not the time to have those deep conversations about the afterlife and stuff. Unless the dying person wants to bring it up and talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
Again, if they want to do that. But
when my father passed, that was my first real death experience. And there are some things that I really noticed, like, how it affected all my brothers and how everybody kind of went down a different path on how they dealt with the situation. The one story that sticks with me, it's a story that makes me mad to this day, is, going to visit my mother, and she was by herself because my dad had just passed, and everybody kept walking in. And so everybody understands that we were a family of atheists. We do not believe in the afterlife. And people would continuously walk in and tell my mother that my father was in a better place. And I remember walking into her room and she was in tears. And I'm like, Mom, why are you crying? And she's like, everybody keeps telling me that your father is in a better place. He's not in a better place. He's a pile of dust in a box over there. And I'm here alone and I'm scared. And I understand that people have a strong core belief system, but you have no right to impose that on anybody else. And you gotta understand that you may have been conditioned to believe that what you're saying is the kind thing to say, but take a moment to understand the person you're talking to. Grief is a horrible thing to have to deal with. And is what you're saying making that grief better?
Mm-hmm.
Are you helping the person? Or are you making it worse?
And people really think they're helping the person. This is going to be an episode upon itself.
Mm-hmm.
It are all these platitudes that people try to say to make people feel better, because it's all bullshit, y'all. So don't be selfish. Don't be bringing your personal stuff and burdening the person who is in their end of days with that kind of stuff. Please support them and their inner circle by being consistent with what their wishes are.
Yeah, and just be careful. It's not hard.
Mm-hmm.
Just understand that, you don't need to heal somebody from grieving. Right?
Yeah.
You don't need to rescue them. As a matter of fact, it's unhealthy to stop them from that process.
You might get knocked the fuck out. That's what I wanted to do when I heard that crap. When someone was like, well, heaven just needed another angel or some bullshit like that. I was just like cracking my knuckles, like start stretching, getting ready to take a swing. Yeah, I unleashed verbiage very much on people because I was like, no. Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
The man was 48. He should be here. We've only been married 4 years. He should fucking be here. He wanted to be here. He did not want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't want to feel that way. His body totally riddled with cancer. Nobody wanted him to go through that pain. So that was, he just had to go.
Yep.
And I hope we see each other again. Because, I don't know what's up in the next, but I just think, not to get all deep on y'all. No, I'm not apologizing. I just hope we all meet again. That's what I'm saying.
It's a podcast about death. You can get as deep as you want.
Okay, thank you for the permission. Yes, I hope I see y'all again. I hope we meet in another plane, dimension, planet, whatever. And I hope we all meet again and dance and sing and laugh.
Maybe in that next dimension, I'll know how to salsa.
Yay! And I won't. No! No, just joking.
Okay, Pillar 2. The people. The social and relational dynamics that exist to this topic.
And who is held most high? Who is numero uno? You know that is the person who is about to leave this lifetime.
Yes, they are the absolute center of the universe in this scenario.
And their role is, while they are fully capable, while they're able to really consider the possibilities and what they want, they need to self-reflect honestly, communicate clearly, and confidently assert their definitions of dignity and comfort, again, while they are fully capable. Don't wait, y'all. Don't wait to see, when the emergency happens. Then I'm going to tell people how I want things to go, because you're not going to be quite able to.
Yes, and being clear about what you want. We're going to say this over and over again. Clear wishes make clear plans. It doesn't mean that in 2 years from now, your wishes are going to be the same. So it's important to not just one time be clear, but to be consistently clear all the time, knowing that things are going to change down the road.
Funny story.
For
this. My mom would joke sometimes about, when I die, I want to be cremated, and then I want you to put me in ashtrays all over Las Vegas in my favorite casinos. And I heard that, and I held it. And I was like, I will do that, mother dear. I was serious about it, and I brought it up to her when she was very ill, and fading. And that took 10 years. She was so sick for so long, we didn't know when. And I asked her, I was like, so I'm ready to do that, to put your ashes in casinos, and in Las Vegas. She's like, what? She's like, what are you talking about? She's like, don't do that. She totally changed her mind. I was like, well, shit. I was like, all about it. But yeah, I'm glad she told me.
Yep.
That she changed her mind.
Yeah, it's important to keep that conversation going, not just for the individual, but also for the inner circle. Quick note, in previous episodes, we were kind of referred to the inner circle as the family.
Or we would say a long list. We would be your family, your chosen family, your inner circle, your people. Yeah.
It's hard to decipher. Some people have their immediate family as who's closest to them. Some people have a group of friends that are their chosen family. And for us, it's a lot easier to define that group as an inner circle versus a family. It makes a lot more sense for us. So that's what we're going to go with moving forward. Because
again, not everyone's blood relations have their best interest in mind. So yeah, not all people have great relationships with their blood relatives, and chosen family is absolutely valid. You can choose your people,
Yes.
and that's who we're going to talk about. We're going to regard whoever it is in your situation as the inner circle, to acknowledge and honor all of the different
It's
things it could be.
in that inner circle, that trust that exists within that inner circle is important. And that's why it's important to look beyond just immediate family. It needs to be the group of people that you trust, because they're the ones who are going to be helping you make decisions. And then when the decisions are all made and it's time to move to the end of life process, their role transitions from being a decision maker to the protectors of that plan. And that is a crucial piece to providing dignity and empowerment to the individual.
That's what I was. I was a protector of my mother's plan.
Yes.
From when I was a little kid until I was like late 40s. I was like, yes, that's the plan. Casinos, look out. Here come my mother's ashes mixed into the ashtrays.
Right.
Of cigarette ashes, which is rather morbid because that's how she died, was from smoking. But.
Yeah, and a more serious piece of this, and it's a piece you brought up before, is that how important it is that there's someone there who's going to make sure that plan happens, even when the individual starts struggling with those decisions.
Right.
And again, that's why it's so important to have a strong inner circle. Because, you know, in those final days, we already said it, that person is in their most vulnerable state. And so that it's really key that once those wishes are established and once that plan starts moving into place, that the people are there to follow through and make sure that the plan happens.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the good thing about a plan. All the guesswork's gone.
The guesswork, yeah, there doesn't need to be any guesswork. They just figure out how to make those wishes happen. Mm-hmm. So their job then is to simply ensure that the person's voice is honored through all levels of care for mm-hmm. the remainder of their days and beyond.
Oh, yeah.
Because, of course, it doesn't end the moment they leave. There's a shit ton to do after. But again, it makes this load lighter. So,
yep.
Rob got us a really nice TV when he was high on pain meds. I was like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, I got us a new TV. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with the old one, but okay.
Yep.
You know, what am I going to do? Deny a dying man his dream TV for the last 2 days of his life? Right?
No.
Okay. I still got that TV. Thank you, Rob.
Let's talk a little bit about the community, the people that are involved. You know, we talk about there's community and society pieces to this. The big
those are people
like
caregivers. Those are people like, you know, the doctors, obviously. But, you know, friends and people in your circles, like the people who you worked with, mm-hmm. people in your neighborhood, if you have a church community, if you have a passion or a hobby, and, you know, there's those communities, sports ball teams, if you play sports ball.
I kind of, you know, when I think about the community that exists around an individual, these are people who know the individual who's passing, mm-hmm. mostly an acquaintance. And typically when a person is going through their end of life process, most people in those communities step up to say, how can I help? When it comes to
what a beautiful world it would be if that happened on the regular.
When you talk about your caregivers and doctors and lawyers and accountants, you know, the professionals that are involved in decision making, they're going to be there to help guide the decision making process. Mm-hmm. But the decision making process lands on the individual and the inner circle. They're the ones who are going to be lifting the heavy load there. But the community at large in this piece are just there as supporting cast.
Mm-hmm. Right. And they also should be allies. They also should ensure that the patients, their needs are met and followed, and
Yes.
their wishes are followed. So,
Oh yeah, and they can also provide, I guess you could say, the emotional scaffolding that'll help the inner circle. You might be holding grandma's hand. They're the ones cleaning her ears or giving her a towel down to keep her clean. You might be there enjoying the music someone's playing for them. Right? The community's playing where you're able to then be in the present with that individual who's passing.
and you mentioned that they provide like emotional and practical scaffolding to keep the environment peaceful. I had to rely on the nurse that oversaw the caregivers and everything, and and she would come and check up on Rob. Like, I felt the need to check in to be, what am I to expect? I'm going to be here. Rob wanted to die at home. So I was there the whole time. So grateful for this, that we were able to make that happen, because those were his wishes. And I want to know what to expect. When he is dying, what might that be like? What can you give me a spectrum of something to expect? Because I don't want to be just in shock or appalled or, like grossed out, or I don't want to feel that way in reaction to whatever's going on. I want to feel like, oh, the nurse, mentioned this, this like this ragged breathing, and then she compared it to a car engine sputtering and just about to die but still hanging on. And that was a perfect description of Rob transitioning. Like,
Yeah.
it was hard to behold and witness, to be there through it, but I was so grateful that I had a little awareness about it. It helped prepare me, and then I was able to share that with other people that were there witnessing this with me and being there for Rob. It was a blessing, really. I mean, it was such a comfort instead of it being just shocking.
There are some other things to consider. There's the societal aspect of end of life planning when it comes to providing external forces. It has to deal with, providing the dignity and empowerment. And there's certain pieces that affect it. There's
What external forces, Rich?
like laws, regulations, cultural influences.
Ew, religion.
Yeah, religion's a big one. And society dictates what is considered acceptable. We might have our own individual ideas, but if your plan is to be set on fire in the middle of downtown Seattle, there's probably going to be a lot of people saying you can't do that.
God damn it.
So yeah, society does have a say.
I have to update my folder.
Society does have a say into the planning process. Again, the heavy lifting comes to the individual in that inner circle, but there are external forces that exist.
Can I tell you a story?
Yes, you can.
Oh my gosh. Rob, because his priority, as it should be, was for quality of life. He had to go, even though he wanted to die at home and he was already home, I had to convince him and remind him that that's what his call was that he wanted quality of life. That meant pain management. And so the nurse said he had to leave to go to like a hospice place where they had medical personnel and get this device put inside him, is a morphine drip.
Yep.
So a morphine pump. And the nurse said it would take a day, and she lied about it in order to get him to go. We didn't know until we were already there, like 3 days. They were like, we were told this was going to be a day. And they're like, who told you that? And so anyway, coming back to it, Rob was filling out a form and it said religious preference. He circled Catholic. I looked at him. I'm like, really? Because, he's from Ireland. His family still lives in Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's more like, do they go to church? No. But does Rob go to church? Oh, no. But, yeah.
Kind of Catholic, like the Olive Garden is Italian.
I guess, right? Exactly. Precisely. Pretty much like that. So, like, Catholic by, default, I guess. And just checked a box, right? Well, who is it, a priest? Is that the Catholic? It's Catholic priest, right? That's what they're called. This priest, elderly priest, would come by like 4 times a day. 4 times a day to check on Rob. Rob is a really gracious, friendly, nice, kind person. But after like a day and a half of this, he's like, God damn it, I don't want that priest coming in here anymore. I'm like, well, darling, you're the one that checked the box that you were Catholic, so that's what you're gonna get. So, that's just so we had to like tell the nurse to tell the priest, because we were embarrassed. We didn't want to tell the priest to his face, like, get out of here, right? So it was just kind of funny.
That's
like,
funny.
we're priested out. Get out, Mr. Priest.
Paperwork's important.
Exactly. So be careful what box you check, y'all.
Yep.
Because his Catholic dreams came true.
Yep.
he got his request.
It's a clear wish.
I know, right?
Yeah, clear plan. It's all these things are important to consider. It's really important to think about when you're putting together your plan. What are the tools that are going to help you achieve that plan? And society has created all these great tools that we can use: DNRs, living wills, advanced directives, healthcare proxies. All these things exist so that we can provide ourselves with that dignity and empowerment that we really, really, really want.
But even then, there's so much gray area, y'all. So please have these discussions.
Yes. What helps deal with those gray areas is people who know what you want. And if you have an inner circle that's there to protect you, boom, you're gonna have a great transition.
And people who know what to expect, like people who know the process of dying, like your doctors, social worker, therapists and things like that. They can help with those kind of things too. Like, so you don't, because if you haven't experienced it, you don't know. And even if you have experienced it with other people or something, again, there is just so much to cover. We have arrived to precariously balance on Pillar 3, the process. Ooh. And to take a break from the P's, we got 2 L's, legal and logistical. We are going to be populating the folder. Building on episode 2, everybody, the folder is the physical and or digital repository for your life's final boundaries.
Yes, this is where you're going to keep all your important papers, and we're going to talk a little bit more about these important papers later in this piece here, but we're talking about your advanced directives, your living wills, your durable power of attorney, your executors. All of that stuff is going to reside inside of this folder. It exists to make sure your wishes are well documented so that you don't have to play a high-stakes guessing game in the hospital hallway.
Right. Like, you don't want to get the shittiest news. Your beloved is going to die. And then you're frantically trying to decide things in a busy lobby at the hospital next to the ice machine or something,
exactly.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. No, let's try to avoid that shit. Most importantly, we have brought this up in the past. We're going to talk about it now, and we definitely will bring it up again.
Yes.
Keep this damn folder where people can find it. Putting it away like under your mattress in a secret place is useless in a crisis.
Yes, and also if you're going to keep your stuff like sorted digitally, please have a place where people can access your passwords.
Yeah, and like when we're not saying where everybody can find it, we're not saying everybody, just anybody. No, keep it guarded, keep it safe, keep it so not everybody knows your passwords, of course. But yeah, your designated people, you should probably have more than one in case somebody can't deliver,
have a plan.
Yeah, exactly. So have a backup person or two people working together so they know where to find this folder, whether it's physical and or digital.
Let's talk about some of the things that are going to be in that folder. Kind of two crucial pieces would be like an advance directive or a living will. These things are the legal foundational documents that protect you while you are still alive.
And still alive is such a gray area, y'all. You can be totally out mentally, like not conscious. And you can be hooked up to all these machines, breathing for you, circulating your blood, making your heart beat, and you're technically still alive. And that's what doctors want. They want to just keep your body, which is an engine to them, going. That's what they consider success. So we need to make sure that you have these documents to cover your ass, because not everybody wants to live like that. Not everybody wants to live, like they don't consider that quality of life. They don't want to be living in those conditions. So you gotta express that now while you are able to express it and have it documented, and your people, your inner circle, know it. So remember, it's important that a living will is not the same as a traditional will. It's about your medical care and how people treat you right now. It's not about all your shit. Like, make sure my jewelry goes to my favorite drag queen, and that's a traditional will. That's something different.
Yes, that's something that's down the road, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. What we're talking about is the care that you're going to receive while you're still alive. That's what an advance directive is. That is what a living will is. These are the papers that prevent doctors from making default institutional decisions and outlines exactly what medical interventions you do or don't want.
Things like intubation, feeding tubes, resuscitation, like you need to have a DNR, which that's an acronym for do not resuscitate. And, if you are technically dead, doctors can't do anything medically to try to get your heartbeat to start again. Like, so no zapping, no other
chest compressions,
yeah,
no mouth to
exactly,
mouth.
no CPR, nothing. Like, just let you be. I know all this terminology, all this vocabulary, all this medical jargon and stuff and legal stuff is intimidating, y'all. It was totally intimidating and overwhelming to me, when I was with Rob and with others in my life. So to help you out, listeners, we define and explain all of this terminology in our glossary that you can find on our website, because we care about you and we don't want you to go when there's an acronym that you don't understand or an abbreviation or something. So you are welcome.
Yes, you can find that at deathbedpillowtalk.wordpress.com. That's going to be there. We're also going to have some other resources posting up there in the future. Stay tuned to find out about those.
Yes. Like I mentioned, not everybody wants to be hooked up with all these machines and be unconscious and not able to do the things they want to do. Not to be ableist, but it's deep. It's a lot. Like, you got to know what you want. We've had a close friend decide to do Death with Dignity.
Yes.
Here in the state of Washington. That was not a choice that was super popular in his community, but that was his decision, and we respect it.
And one of the reasons he chose us is because a lot of these medical interventions are pretty invasive.
Mm-hmm. And he was not happy with his current quality of life.
Not
and
at
he
all.
didn't want it to get any worse. He was ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we lovingly said goodbye and respected his wishes.
One of these pieces that we have to keep in mind is someone's going to be making decisions for you. And so you need to have that legally documented. And that person is going to be that durable power of attorney. It's also known as a healthcare proxy. And this is all about designating one or more people who completely understand your values.
It's not always the same person who handles your traditional will stuff either. They can be different people, right, Rich?
Yes, there's a difference between a durable power of attorney and an executor.
Yes.
There's multiple versions of that. There's a durable power of attorney of medical, which is someone's handling your medical pieces. There's durable power of attorney of financial, and that's going to be who's going to pay your bills while you're unconscious, waiting to pass away, right? These are all important pieces to consider while you're making your plan.
They may be the same person. They may be separate people. That's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about that, when you designate these people, you need to make sure that they have the emotional fortitude to enforce your choices to medical staff or dissenting family members when you can't speak for yourself.
Or when one of those dissenting family members is yourself, you need someone who's going to stand up for the plan that you guys designated. Because when you are incoherent, you might make some decisions that deviate from the plan. So someone there who has the fortitude to say to you, no, that's not what you wanted.
Mm-hmm. Right, because Rob, I had to remind him, no, you should go to this hospice temporarily to get this morphine pump. Because it is the only thing that's going to help your pain now. You're maxed out. You've done everything else you could do. This is the next step in you having quality of life while you're still here. Because his pain, that was the only way he could possibly manage his pain. So I had to remind him of that and like really convince him to do that because he was so inundated with all these drugs in his system to try to make him comfortable that he was definitely not thinking clearly.
It's good that you bring that up. It's important that you find the person who's going to be able to make these decisions. It's important to find the person who is right for the job as opposed to the person who's closest to you.
Right. Like my dad picked my brother to be executor of everything. Like we didn't even have a conversation about it. He was just like, yeah, Sean's it. And I'm like, okay, then, you know.
Yep.
That's fine. All right.
Yeah. But I think for you,
even though I'm the eldest daughter.
Yeah. But I also think that when you're, they made the decisions based on what they thought was right. I think when you're talking about when you yourself have to look into this, you want to find the people who have the emotional stability to make these decisions. Because I don't think you do anybody any favors if you're picking someone wouldn't be able to handle that situation. You're putting them in a bad spot.
I mean, it's so much more than picking your maid of honor, y'all.
Oh.
It's not just, like, well, I have to ask all of my cousins to be my bridesmaids. This shit is not like that. This is much more important.
Exactly.
So please be careful. Yes. So you have to have someone willing to stand up and speak out, and being your voice while you are not able to respond to things. So
guess what happens along this process? You die.
Oh.
Right. And so there's a bunch of stuff that happens after you die. There's these post-life wishes, there's documentation and legal pieces that you need to have in order and sitting in your folder, things like wills and estate planning and who's the executor. These are the things that'll help define how you want your estate to be distributed to make all those wishes come true and be carried out appropriately.
Now we are talking about the stuff, right? The stuff you leave behind, all of your assets and things like that. Here is what you need to document for when you're officially checked out, when you're dead.
Yep.
You need, drumroll, the executor.
Oh, yes.
This is your administrative project manager.
Yes, a very important piece of the puzzle. The biggest challenge for any executor is, there's a great book on this. It's Nobody Wants Your Shit. And their job is to figure out who gets it all. And
you said that author cusses a lot. I totally want to read it just because of that.
Yeah. Nobody Wants Your Shit by Messi Kondo. Great book.
That name. For real?
I'm sure it's a ghost name, but I love it.
That's rad.
Yeah. So yeah, you need your executor. That's an important piece of it. They're the ones that are going to be handling the will. But, you know, in a more immediate situation is you're dead, and guess what's left over? Your body.
Oh, let me talk about this one.
The disposition instructions. This is what gets done to your body after you die. This is probably one of the most entertaining subjects you'll ever talk about in your life.
We are going to have multiple episodes based on this topic alone because there is so much to cover. There's so many choices.
There's choices, but there's also like the goofiest rules around disposition that exist on this planet. There are some countries out there that talk about when you can get disposed of and all these different things. It's pretty funny.
Yes, and we want to find, you know us, we want to find the humor in a lot of this. Like when Rob wanted to be cremated, and before that could happen, I had to go through this huge document and like initial each box of all these stressed points, one for, and it's a hoot. I was like, what? When I was doing it, even though I was, like crying at the same time. But one of it was, you understand that this is an irreversible process. Now you cannot be like, wait a minute, I don't want him cremated.
Wait, can we
put him back together?
Yeah,
no. And the other one that was super interesting was like, there's gonna be little pieces of other people.
Yep. In
with the remains, because it's really hard to clean this machine out, So I was like, yeah. But the reason why they have it written down is because people have done this shit, right? That's the thing, is that you have to think about it. Like this has happened.
Oh yeah.
So they want to make sure they don't have to cross that bridge again. So yeah, like I said, we'll be talking more about this.
Oh yes.
In future episodes, dear listeners. So stay tuned.
Another huge thing to keep in mind, and we've already stressed this like pretty heavily earlier,
and we're gonna do it again.
Your digital keys and passwords. If you have your stuff documented digitally, make sure the people like the executor and your durable power of attorneys have access to your passwords to these documents so that nobody gets confused, so that you have everything laid out perfectly. Yeah, it's just hugely important.
And of course, your final messages to your loved ones. Use this space for what you want your people to know. So this turns this cold legal process into a profoundly generous gift and an act of love for those you've left behind. I think a great example of this, Rich, is our friend that we talked about before. He made a video just for us. He had a video message. So this was in his last days before he did the Death with Dignity. And he made videos for the people in his life as a goodbye. And wow.
Yeah, I'll always cherish his last words to me, or where's my fucking tablet? That's how he signed off to me. in his video.
Because he had to ask you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you were working on it all the time, right?
Yep.
Oh, man.
Where's my fucking tablet? Hello, lovelies. We are now moving to Pillar 4, the presence.
Pew, 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 pew. More P's. Practical care and dignity. It's the final pillar. Pew-pew-pew. Pew-pew-pew-pew. Pew-pew-pew. The presence. The practical care and dignity.
Yep, this is the ultimate.
Don't sue us for using your song.
Who was that? Europe? Who sung that? So this is the ultimate outcome. This is when the purpose is understood, the people know their exact roles, and the process paperwork is secure in the folder. With these three things all organized and put together in a plan, this allows people to be present. And that's the whole point of the presence, right?
And your anxiety, everybody, is going to lessen.
Not go away.
It's going to be dissipated in a major significant way. Please do not do an experiment to compare.
Yeah.
Right. You'll regret it.
Gail and I have done this for you.
Yes. Yes. Please. When you follow these things and make sure all these ducks are in a row, the anxiety is less.
Yes. It's all about shifting the idea of logistics to a process of love. Because your administrative details and any potential arguments are already resolved. That allows you to focus on being present with the person who is passing.
The inner circle doesn't have to stress out and spend the final days talking to lawyers, arguing with doctors, or scrambling for important documents, begging for information. That gets to be avoided in a big way.
Right. And
everything is laid out, ready to go.
Yep. And having a clear plan is what cultivates true presence. Right. So that everybody can just simply be present.
They can hold hands, share memories, listen to music from the Beloved's playlist, offer quiet comfort, look at photos or videos and giggle and laugh and reminisce. And, groups can gather without the dying person present.
Oh, for sure. I think about that a lot with the passing of my parents. Mm-hmm. Because everything was so organized and because we had a plan and we followed through on those plans, we didn't have to stress out over what was going to be done. And as a consequence, my brothers and I became much closer. We were beforehand, we barely talked to each other. And as a consequence of going through all these processes, I speak to my brothers, both of them weekly, especially after the passing of my brother Ed. Mm-hmm. We just kept in close contact. I think that just developed, just allowing us to be present in the moment allowed us to realize what was truly important.
It was a beautiful thing to behold. I love witnessing that because I was there. So thank you for
mm-hmm.
allowing me to be
Thank
involved.
you for being there.
Oh, gosh. It was, each of your parents' memorials were so lovely and light, and the memories, it was a joy to behold. My favorite, though, was when y'all took the ashes to the river.
Yes, that was a wonderful thing for those people who don't know what we did, which is a lot of you. We got these biodegradable urns that floated, and after about 5 minutes, the urns would disintegrate and the ashes would sink to the bottom of the water. But of course, we put them in a fast-moving river, so they were cruising down the river.
They had like a race.
Yeah,
and you were making jokes because Like,
We were making it was pretty funny. A few of us all at the exact same time started doing the same cry. My mom would scream while my dad would drive, and my dad was a lunatic driver, but everybody started going, yoop, 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 yoop. Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty
because
funny.
Yoop was first going down the river, like going farther away, and we just imagine your mom like calling after him.
Oh yeah. The thing that really stuck out to me was the level of joy that existed.
It wasn't sad. It wasn't mournful.
I think
it wasn't even really bittersweet. It was, you could feel the like resolution. Like it was a happy bow tied on top of the present.
I think it was a relief that it was finally over, because I think with both of my parents, both, they hung on as long as they could, and it was just this relief of we're done.
It was fucking
and
beautiful.
we're all where we're supposed to be. Yep.
It was beautiful to behold. Thank you.
Yep. I mean, the whole point of having a quality presence is providing this gift of a dignified transition. Right? It's this absolute presence that allows a person to experience an empowering, tranquil transition, wrapped in the safety of knowing that they have been heard, respected, and deeply loved.
Snaps to that.
Yep.
Yes. That peaceful resolution. And it's just like a deep cleansing breath and a release. Sigh with me, Rich. Ready? Inhale. Exhale.
Yep.
Peaceful resolution.
It is. Well, and let's be honest. That transition, you might feel the anxiety yourself watching a loved one pass. You can only imagine their anxiety knowing that that's what's happening. Mm-hmm. So if you can create a comforting moment for them in literally their most vulnerable moment in their life, the happier everybody is going to be.
Right. Because we don't want to burden our loved one. Like they are dying. They need to focus on themselves. We don't want them to be worried about us, for us. We don't want them to be concerned with our shit, right? We want them to also feel a sense of peace that everything is taken care of, and, they just need to pass peacefully.
Yeah, I think maybe it's just the sensation that you can give to them that we're all going to be okay.
Right. We are going to be okay. I told Rob that. I'm like, honey, I'll miss the shit out of you. I'm going to cry. Rob, I'm going to miss the shit out of you, but I'm going to be okay. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to be okay, and I'll miss you, but I'm going to be okay. And I am. So thank you. Thank you for hanging with us, dear listeners. We're almost to the end of our episode 3, Rich.
Episode 3.
Lucky number 3. Now we're going to bring you to our call to action. We direct you to visit our central hub at deathbedpillowtalk.wordpress.com. We want to remind you that our resource page and our glossary on our website have all the direct links and digital tools that we discussed today, so you can update your folder right now.
Just a reminder that you can find us on any podcast platform, streaming platform as of now.
We're on all the things, y'all. We are on every platform there is.
Pandora,
Yeah,
iHeart,
give me that list, Rich.
Amazon, Spotify,
YouTube,
Apple, YouTube, yep. And a variety of others. So
OnlyFans. Oh, just joking.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of these digital tools. In our last episode, we discussed the Conversation Project and Caring Info. Both are great resources. Again, they'll be on our resources page. You can click through. They have a lot of answers to a lot of questions.
They are all about end-of-life planning.
Mm-hmm.
We also have Compassion and Choices, compassionandchoices.org. They are the nation's largest nonprofit organization focused on expanding and protecting patient rights and the options at the end of life. So cool, so needed, so necessary. It is rad. This site offers free tools like My End of Life Decisions Guide and specific toolkits to help individuals navigate dementia and avoid unwanted medical interventions, because that is a whole nother issue and ball of wax is dementia, Alzheimer's.
Yes.
That really throws a monkey wrench in the game.
Yep. Compassion and Choices is a great place to find out all of the appropriate documentation you're going to need. Your DNRs and your healthcare proxies and all those things we mentioned earlier. When you're talking about having your conversation, we highly recommend checking out fivewishes.org.
Oh, I love Five Wishes.
Yes.
That's been around a while.
They have been.
They have Five Wishes when Rob was fading away.
Yep. They're just a beautifully simple, widely accepted legal document written in everyday language. And it addresses an individual's medical, personal, emotional, and spiritual needs, ensuring that the person's comfort and dignity are legally prioritized alongside with medical care.
Thank you, Five Wishes.
Yeah, it is a great. If you are starting this conversation, which we talked about in episode 2, it is a great starting point to just download this. You can print it out. It's like $5 for a PDF, or you can get a digital version that you can fill out for a little bit more. But it's all very affordable. And
totally worth it.
Yeah, and it's a great tool to get you started down this path of creating a clear plan around an individual's clear wishes.
All right, y'all. Clap yourselves on the back because you made it through this episode. So we're going to tell you a little bit about our next episode to get you hyped, to get you ready, to get you listening. We're going to talk about the abstract mindset of acknowledging mortality into taking immediate structured action.
Yes, we're talking about building a plan. We're talking about organizing specific details within physical or digital planners, how to build out your folder, how to eliminate the profound fog through that logistical chaos.
Chaos. Ugh. This ensures that your personal narrative is protected, granting your loved ones the space to grieve rather than scramble through administrative tasks. It cuts through all that bullshit. You get it done, and so people can just be present and enjoy your last moments together.
Yes. So stay tuned. A great way to make sure you don't miss this new coming episode is to follow us on your favorite social media site. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We are on LinkedIn. We even throw some stuff up on TikTok. So follow us.
Follow, like, subscribe.
Yes. Or, log on to our website and just check that periodically to see what we have to offer. We're building resources currently that we're going to be able to offer shortly. That's going to be tools that'll help you with your conversation and having a checklist for your folder. And hopefully these are going to help you with future planning.
Let us be your lighthouse through this shitstorm. That's going to go on a t-shirt.
Yeah, we need to make shirts for that for sure.
For real.
All right, so now it's time for my, I could say, fifth favorite part of any episode. That's going to be our song of the episode. What you're going to be listening to is a small snippet of Canyons by The Loveless Building. They are good friends of mine, I like to say, but, that's up to them to decide. You're going to get a snippet of this song now, but go to our website. You'll be able to have a link to the whole song there and any other song that we have played on our podcast anytime in the past or future. And here they are, The Loveless Buildings with Canyons. That was Canyons by The Loveless Building. They are good folks, a Seattle band. They play out regularly. Go see them if you can. Remember, support your local live music.
Absolutely.
Support all your local live artists.
Artists, y'all. Fuck that AI stuff as much as possible.
All right, so as we wrap up today's episode, I want to take a deep breath and think about what dignity looks like to you. It's a highly personal question, and your answer belongs entirely to you.
Don't let society, fear, or hesitation silence your voice. Fill your folder, name your people, your inner circle, and clarify your purpose. It is the greatest gift of certainty you will ever give to the people you love the most.
Thank you for sitting down with us today on the edge of the bed. Be sure to check out our resources on the show notes. Start those conversations this week, and we'll see you next time.
Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Talk to you soon.